Hello friends, this video on force and laws of motion part 2 is brought to you by examfear.com. No more fear from exam. Let us now talk about the different laws of motion. These laws of motion were a very critical concept which laid the foundation of a major part of physics. So there were three laws of motion which were given by Sir Isaac Newton, which actually helped us to understand the concept behind motion, which helped us to understand three important facts about the phenomenon of motion taking place in a body. So now there were different other scientists as well who did a lot of study and research on force and motion, because force was the cause of motion. So they were trying to study the relationship between force and motion, right? So the first scientist to do research and study on this was Aristotle. After Aristotle, it was Galileo who gave some of the concepts related to force and motion, and then came Sir Isaac Newton, who actually gave the three important laws of motion, which are known as Newton's laws of motion, which actually became the pillar of Newtonian mechanics, right? And that is why it came to be known as Newtonian mechanics, right? So now let us start with Aristotle's law of uniform motion. Aristotle gave an idea. While scientists were trying to know the cause behind motion, even though they found that force was the cause behind motion, they were trying to give some theory of how the motion takes place, or how is it related to force. So Aristotle studied uniform motion. What is uniform motion? We have spoken about it in our previous chapter. Uniform motion is the one where the body moves with uniform velocity, right? So the body moves with constant velocity. So Aristotle told that an external force is required to keep a body in uniform motion. So Aristotle said that, let us suppose if there is an object which is moving with uniform velocity. So in order that the body keeps on moving with uniform velocity, it is needed that an external force is continuously being applied on the body. That means not only to start the motion, but also to retain that uniform motion, an external force has to be there. He told this on the basis of these kind of examples. Suppose if you have a box tied to a string, and this person is dragging it. Now, as soon as he leaves the string and he moves off, what happens to the box? The box comes at rest. It is not moving anymore. So that means Aristotle told that it moved so far because an external force was being applied on it. Now it stopped because the external force has been removed. So Aristotle's conclusion was that if you want an object to be in uniform motion, a force has to be applied on the body continuously. As soon as the force is removed, the body will stop. That was Aristotle's idea. But the fallacy or the failure in Aristotle's principle lied in the fact that whatever he observed was correct. The example which I told, the observation was correct, but what he interpreted from that observation was not correct. So Aristotle thought an external force is required to keep a body in uniform motion. But actually, why did this happen? Why did the body stop? Or what was the external force actually doing? Now, at the moment a body starts moving on the ground, there is a frictional force which continuously acts on the body. And what is a frictional force? Frictional force is a resistive force. That means a force that opposes motion. It always tries to oppose motion. It doesn't want the body to move, right? So the frictional force is continuously acting on the body, and that because of the frictional force, the body cannot move. The body can move only when an external force is applied to overcome the frictional force. So in this case also the same thing is happening. In the beginning, an external force is being applied. This external force is winning over the frictional force, and that is why the body is able to move. But after some time, as soon as the external force is removed, what happened? The frictional force dominates and the body stops. So it is not that the force or the external force alone is the one who is responsible for a body to be in uniform motion. The frictional force also has a role to play. Now let us imagine a situation where you do not have any frictional force. However, in reality or in your real life, you will have frictional force on every surface. But let us imagine for a minute that there is no frictional force at all. That means there is no friction there. The surface is extremely smooth and slippery, and there is no frictional force being applied on the object. In that case, what would happen? Do you think that an external force would be needed to move the body? No, because there is no force now to stop the body. So the body will move on its own. Right? Now, if the surface is frictionless, the body will move on its own. There is nobody to stop the body. So when there is nobody to stop the body, you don't need anybody to oppose the frictional force, because the frictional force itself is not there. So that means the conclusion was that an external force is definitely required to keep a body in motion, but that is true only if the resistive forces are present. That means only when resistive forces like frictional force or viscous force is normally found in liquids, right? So when your resistive forces are present, only then you need an external force to keep a body in motion, because that external force will actually defeat the frictional force and make the body move. But when you do not have any resistive force, there is no force to stop the motion of the body. So the body will move on its own. So in that case, you do not need an external force to keep a body in motion. So you understood what was Aristotle's idea and what was the fault in his idea. I mean, whatever he observed was correct, but what he interpreted out of that was not completely correct. Right? So this was Aristotle's fallacy. This is where the Aristotle's idea failed. Now, based on this fact, Galileo gave his law. So Galileo also did lot of studies on force and motion. And what did he say? He told that a body moving on a frictionless surface should move with constant velocity. That's what I mentioned, right? So if the surface is frictionless, in that case, there is nobody to stop the motion or to oppose the motion. So in that case, the body should keep on moving with uniform velocity. That is constant velocity. Because when we are not applying any external force, when we are not disturbing the body at all, that means the speed or the velocity of the body should not increase or decrease. The velocity will increase only when you give some external force or something. The velocity will decrease again when there is some frictional force or something. So if there is no disturbance at all, the body is moving on its own on a frictionless surface, in that case it should move with constant velocity. That is, it should be in uniform motion. Let us look at this example. We have a rough surface. On a rough surface, how does a ball move? It experiences the ups and downs. That is actually, it is experiencing the frictional force, which is at every moment trying to oppose its motion. Whereas in case of an extremely smooth surface, the body just moves with a constant velocity, right? Okay. So now, what was the conclusion of Galileo's idea? So Aristotle's law was falsified by Galileo. So let's have a quick review. What did Aristotle say? He told that an external force is continuously needed to make a body in uniform motion, to keep a body in uniform motion. But Galileo said that external force is needed only if the resistive forces are present. If the surface is a frictionless surface, in that case, we do not need any external force to be applied on the body to retain its uniform motion. So in other words, Galileo said that for a body which is at uniform motion, the net external force acting on it is equal to 0. Right? So according to Galileo, a body at rest is considered equivalent to a body in uniform motion, because when you consider a body at rest means it is not at all moving. So the net external force on this body is equal to 0. That means, does that mean that there is no external force acting on the body? No, not at all. That is why I spoke about balanced and unbalanced forces. Maybe balanced forces are acting on the body. Maybe there is an object like this, There are so many forces acting on the body, but they are all balanced forces. That means, let us suppose if some force F is here, F is here. They are equal and opposite forces, so they cancel out. Similarly, some F1 is here, F1 is here. They are again equal and opposite, cancel out. So the body is at rest. So this means when a body is at rest, when the net force acting on the body is equal to 0, that means a body is under the influence of balanced forces. Right? And he told that there is another scenario where the body is in uniform motion. Now, even in case of uniform motion, what is happening? The body is moving with a constant velocity. So, in case of constant velocity also, the net force acting on the body is equal to 0. Because when some external force is applied on the body, what happens to the velocity? The velocity also increases. Or when you apply some obstruction to the motion of the body, the velocity decreases. So in this case, when you are considering a frictionless surface, that means there is no frictional force, there is no external force needed. In that case, the body is moving in with uniform velocity. So even in case of uniform motion, the net force acting on the body is equal to 0. So Galileo told that a body at rest can be considered equivalent to a body in uniform motion. Right? So that was Galileo's idea. So initially, as I said, there were many scientists who wanted to know about the motion, the cause of motion, relationship between force and motion basically. So many of them were doing studies and research on this. So initially their focus was completely on uniform motion, that what happens during uniform motion, because they were trying to understand the simple things first and then they were trying to look at non-uniform motion. Right? So Galileo told that Aristotle was incorrect. He corrected Aristotle's law. Then he told that a body at rest can be considered equivalent to a body in uniform motion. That's because in both the cases, the net force acting on the body is equal to 0. Right? That doesn't mean that there is no force acting on the body. That means that the body, either there is no force acting on the body or the body is under the influence of balanced forces. Thank you. Please visit examfear.com to watch free educational videos, try free online tests, get the best quality study materials, study from the best tutors and mentors, and much more. Thank you once again.